So it's 40 degrees outside today, and I was like, I saw The Iron Claw the other day. Let's do a review on that because that is a steaming, hot, sweaty Texas movie, What is going on, everyone, and welcome to my review of The Iron Claw. Now, this is a film that came out late 2023 in America, but only came out around mid to late January in 2024 in Australia. So I'm going to be reviewing it now. I'm a little bit late catching up to it because it's actually been a little bit of a hard one to find. They're not playing it as much as I'd like them to, but they're still playing Wonka on its fucking, 9th week, 10th week? Anyway, The Iron Claw is directed by Sean Durkin, and it stars Zac Efron, Jeremy Allen White, Lily James, Harris Dickinson, Stanley Simons, Holt McCallany, and Maura Tierney. And this film tells the true story of the inseparable Von Erich brothers, who made history in the intensely competitive world of professional wrestling in the early 1980s. Through tragedy and triumph, under the shadow of their domineering father and coach, the brothers seek larger-than-life immortality on the biggest stage in sports. Now that gives you a flavour of the film. It doesn't even come close to how much this film has in it. It is jam-packed, it is just a roller coaster of emotions, from highs, high highs, to the lowest of lows. And just to get the cat out of the bag, I thought that this movie was amazing. When you hear about this film, you kind of think of it as being almost like a sports drama, a bit of a them rising to the top stage. But what's interesting about this film is that it kind of has them starting off not as, popular and as famous as they were. And this family, the film starts with them rising up and rising up. And you see the high point around halfway through the film. And it's been threatened from the start of the movie. But what this film really is about the downfall. And this is a true story, and it's just unbelievably poetic. For example, the Iron Claw is the Von Erich signature move that Fritz Von Erich, the father of the family, made famous when he was a professional wrestler. But the Iron Claw also represents the tyrannical grip that Fritz Von Erich has over his family, and especially his children, and how he just molds them and forces them to basically succeed in what he couldn't succeed in, because he kind of feels like he didn't get a chance to get his big break. He just feels let down by the world, and as though it was meant to be that he was meant to reach his fame through his kids. This is an extremely intense and brutal film. Really, its core focus, as much as it's a wrestling film, its core focus is family and parenting, and the fine line between encouraging your child and controlling them. This father obviously wants the best for his kids, but it's more in a way that's to fulfill his needs and wants, and doesn't let them go through their own life. And there you see there's this one brother. One of the brothers is a very good musician, but almost like The Godfather, he is just gripped by his father and dragged back into the family business when it really wasn't his fate. And it's just this idea that where can you encourage your kids to do something, but where do you have to let them find their own path? And I thought that the performances from everyone, especially Holt McCallany as the father, was spectacular. He legitimately does care for his kids. He does want the best for them. But he does it in a way that is so domineering and ends up being straight up abusive. And you just see the detrimental effects that this has on the kids. And this film, to me, is more of a horror story than anything. They always talk about the Von Erich curse. The father changed the name. And since changing the name, things have seemed to go wrong for them. And it's basically a horror story. There is just a curse that is lingering over this family, and it is just one tragedy after another, after another, after another, and it just doesn't stop. Zac Efron absolutely puts in his best performance of his career here. He is jacked to the point that he looks like if the Incredible Hulk was just a human instead of green. Like, it is mildly concerning. Jeremy Allen White does a great job here as well. I haven't seen him in anything else, although I know he was getting a lot of fame and recognition for The Bear. But really, this film succeeds mostly for me in just how much heart it has to it. It's a story about people that brutally beat the living shit out of each other. But it's got such a tenderness and a compassion to it, especially when the characters aren't faced with any compassion and tenderness at all. They kind of have to rely on each other to be able to get through this and just be able to deal with being literally being held in the iron claw of their father. And I really, really think that this is a great cautionary tale of parenting, of what abusive parenting is, the difference between domineering and encouraging, and the difference between wanting the best for children and just trying to relive your life through them and not let them make the same mistakes that you made. But when does that become a problem? It becomes a problem as soon as you're trying to relive your life through them. But the point is that there can be an argument to be made that Fritz von Erich is trying to not let his kids suffer the same fate that he did. And when I say suffer the same fate, I mean not become world wrestling champion. And without spoilers, the last 3 consecutive scenes in this film, like maybe 3 or 4 consecutive scenes, the last 15 minutes of this thing is the most gut-wrenching thing I think I've ever seen on a movie screen. I don't even know how to describe it. It is absolutely harrowing and it is somewhat painful to watch, but this film balances that with actual like meaning behind the heaviness. It doesn't feel like it's just misery porn. You literally come away from it feeling like, okay, I get what the film was going for. I understand why it made me feel like this and I appreciate it. And if I ever were to have kids of my own, this is a film that I would think about a lot. I can only imagine the effect that this might have on someone that's a parent. It had enough of an effect on me, not being a parent. This was just, I thought it was spectacular. The only reservation that I have, and as I've sat with the film more, it becomes less of a reservation and more of a positive, but it's the soundtrack. You have Don't Fear the Reaper and Tom Sawyer in here. Great songs, used extremely well in the film. I just feel like it's getting to the point where, especially for Don't Fear the Reaper, it's like, is this the only song that modern films can use to convey to the audience that it's the 1970s? Like, really? Like, is that the best you can do? That being said, when Don't Fear the Reaper, one of the greatest songs of all time, is the worst part of a movie, that means a movie is really, really fucking good. I'm going to give The Iron Claw 5 stars. Guys, absolutely check this one out. It's just a brilliant film with a really heartbreaking and heartwarming message about compassion and family love and domination and just what it means to be a parent or what it means to be a part of a family. I really love this one. Anyway, that's it for me. I'll see you all next week. Let me know what you thought of the review. I apologize. I've been having a bit of brain fog with some things, so this review might not have been as concise as it could have been, but I'm getting through that. Been a bit under the weather, but that's okay. I'll see you all later. Bye.